we move to the second round, and I believe MPP Vanthof, you want to lead? Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to. Thank you, Chair. I want to make sure everyone we are in support of this bill. This isn't. We are trying to make this the best bill and the best for agritourism that we can. I think of agritourism outfits in Northern Ontario, so Leisure Farms in West Nipissing. They run actually one of the largest market gardens in the province, and they have an on-farm bakery, and they do many tours. They hold a big pumpkin fest in the fall. Thousands of school kids come, right? This bill will help them. Carnor Farms, next to my old dairy farm, they plant a few acres of sunflowers and have tours going through their sunflower farm field, right? This bill will help them. I get this. We are 100% behind this. But I need to stress that there are inherent risks on farms. And what I don't fully understand in the bill, or if it's in the bill, is what is inherently too great a risk. Because we're leaving this up, the way I understand, we're leaving this up to the individual operator. And I get that. But we also have to, that there, at some point, that might cause a risk in itself. And I just don't know how to, right? And I'm not trying to be, but, you know, so I just look at our dairy farm, and we did the school tours, and there were places that, and so once a year, they hold in our area a day on the farm, right? And they find 4 or 5 operators, and they tour thousands of people through there. It's a great it's done by the Northern Ontario Farm Innovation Alliance and the Timiskaming Federation of Agriculture and the local, all the commodity groups. Dairy used to be the Milk Committee in my day, but Dairy Producer Committee, and it's an awful lot of work. It's really beneficial, but it's also very hard to make sure that everything is covered. And I'm not, and they're not, and this bill will likely help them, right? But they go through, and things that the farmer might not even think of as a risk. And it's not just it's a big one. If something happens, if it goes wrong, it's going to go incredibly wrong. And I get that there's organizations, you know, there must be an agritourism organization that monitors, but that's what I'm getting at. That I don't want that sign to just be, you know, buyer beware. Right? Because and you don't want that either. I'm not trying to speak for you, but none of us want that. So I think that's the only caveat that we need to be very careful with. That there are inherent risks on a farm. In most cases, vast majority of cases, the benefit of having, and I've seen it in our own farm, right? The benefit of having a child pet a calf or pet a goat, it's a life-changing, believe me, it's a life-changing experience. Not going to contradict that at all. But also, some farms just do not lend themselves to agritourism. And the vast majority of those farmers want nothing to do with agritourism, right? Who know this, right? But the vast majority of people all know that speeding at 130 or 140 clicks is also dangerous, and still people do it, right? And that's the only thing that I think that leads me a little, right? But otherwise, I don't have a lot to question. We support the intent of this bill, and we will continue to support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Vanthof. Really do appreciate that. And don't worry, my dad would have called the milk producers as well. So I know what you're referring to there. But your points are well taken. I don't take them as partisan or criticism or anything like that. It was something in developing the piece of legislation, both with Leg Council and the team at the Legislative Assembly, and also with the experts in the field and with Farm Fresh, which is the main sort of organization that represents agritourism operators in Ontario, but obviously the OFA and the Tourism Association is involved as well. It was a discussion around how specific you want to be around inherent risk, and it's literally how our legal system is set up. Like, if you're way too specific, you're going to leave something out. And so it's always a balance on that side, and ensuring, again, as you know very well, you've been here longer than I have in this place, PMBs are usually pretty concise, and so like there are many, and we'll hear from presenters about other issues like beyond the scope of this bill, which is totally fine, and valid concerns around, for example, municipal zoning. But it was really as like, what is one sort of thing that one part of obviously a larger component in this industry, and so
1 minute.
It is, thank you, Chair. Around the inherent risk is similar language that has been used in the U.S. sort of bills. Most refer to inherent risk in that aspect, and it's how there are inherent risks. And my dad, again, I go back to my father, would not be one of those farmers who's going to open an agritourism operation. And so there's obviously more work to do to ensure farm safety, both at the provincial level and with our stakeholders within that, the OFA. I remember when I was a child, St. John Ambulance, my dad made it sure, me and my sister, I think I was 10 at the time, you're going to this course because they're going to teach you about not putting your hand like in an auger, for example, or something like that. So beyond the scope of this bill, but obviously more work all of us can do on that aspect.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. That